Hi and welcome to this video on Java variables. In this video we are going to start with variables, what are they and how do we name them. Then we are going to have a look at some of the primitive types which are built in Java. Then we'll move on to declaring our variables and using them. And then we'll have a practice session on programmer.com where we'll actually create variables and print them to see what our variables have. Think of variables as a box. So you have this box and it basically stores something, and so there is a box and you can put a value in it. Now later on you can change this value, because as the name goes, variable, the values which are stored can be changed, and those values are basically variable. So now each variable or each box has a name, then it has a value. And the third thing is that there is a type associated with each value that goes in the box. So there is a type associated with each value that goes in the box. Now let us name our box. The important thing to note is that the first letter of the name should be either an alphabetical letter or an underscore. So you can start your name with an underscore or anything from A to Z. Say you can have underscore S space, or you can start with R remote, but you cannot start with a number. You cannot have the first letter as a number. Then once your name starts with an underscore or a letter, then you can have any number of letters, numbers or underscores. But the first letter should always start with a underscore or a letter. Now you can name your box anything. Say you can even name it as a color, say green, or box 1 2, anything except certain reserved words which are in Java. So some of the reserved words which are in Java are like int for integer, or say final is a reserved word in Java. So there are about 40 reserved words in Java, and which cannot be used as the name of the variable. Except them, anything can be used. And an important thing to note is that you should name your variable wisely. So if your variable stores the age, so the best option would be to name it age and not a. Usually people name them as a, and now a can mean anything. So your variable name should be named wisely. Your variable should be named wisely, and you should have something like age to specify the age, or weight to specify the weight, and not w. Now let us proceed to using our variables. But before we use our variables, we need to declare the variables. And so we have this box. Before we put any value in the box, we need to tell what is the name and what is the type of value that the box will have, and that is called declaring the variable. Now so int x is how we declare the variable named x. So the name of our variable is x, and int specifies the type. Int means that it can store integers. So integers like 1 2 3 -1 -2 -3, etc. Int x basically tells the compiler that there is a variable named x and it will be storing values of the type integer. Now once we have declared the variable, then we can assign something to the variable. Now we want to assign the integer 7 to the variable. Then we do x is equals to 7. Now understand, this equal to here is the assignment operator. This is not the equal to operator or which says that left is equal to right. This is the assigning operator which assigns what is there in the right to the left. So now our box will have the value. So it is assigning 7 to x, which means it is basically putting the value 7 in our box named x. So our box name was named x and the value 7 is now contained in x. So whatever is there in the right is assigned to left. So this is the declaration part and this is the defining part. Now these two can be combined. So int is basically used to specify integers, but what if we have real values? To store real values, the type of the variable is double. Now look at this statement. This statement basically combines the two steps. It's declaring the variable also and it is defining it also. So this is another example where you can do this two-step procedure in one step, declaring and defining. What it will do is it will assign the value 8.3 to the left hand side, which is y. So a box y will be created or a variable y will be created and 8.3 will be assigned to it. So as I said, this is the assignment operator and it assigns whatever there in the right to the left. So 8.3 will be assigned to y. So this is basically our syntax, that type of the variable, name of the variable is equals to value of the variable. This value can also be replaced by an expression, a mathematical expression or anything. So you can have the type of the variable, name of the variable is equals to value or expression. Now let us have a look at another example of using the variable. As we saw that you can directly write variables equals to expression. What it will do is it will basically evaluate the expression and then the value which comes, that will be assigned to your variable. So the value of the expression will be assigned to the variable. For example, when we have int age is equals to 27, as we discussed in the previous example, the type of the variable is integer, age is the name of the variable, and it will have a value 27. Now, in the first slide we saw that because it is called a variable, the values which are stored can be changed. So understand this statement. This is an expression. Always look at the right hand side first, evaluate it and then assign it to the left hand side. So right hand side mein what it is doing is it is adding 1 to age. So age is 27. 1 to age, if you add, the result is 28. Now the value of this is 28 and this value will now be assigned to age. So age, which was earlier storing 27, will now store 28. So what exactly happened, we'll again look at it, that right hand side expression was evaluated and the value of it was assigned to left hand side using the assignment operator. So this happens when you, and this is the syntax of the same, that variable is equals to expression, the value of the expression will be assigned to the variable. Now we'll have a practice session on programmer.com. I just logged into programmer.com and I'm going to basically create variables and then run my code and see what happens. So I'll just delete all of it and rewrite it. Let us create a variable age of the type integer and let us add the value 25 to it. Then we want to see what is the value of it. So we basically do system dot, as we saw in the first class, that system dot out dot println, and we'll print the variable age to see what the variable is storing. So when we did int age is equals to 25, a variable age was created and the value of 25 was stored in it. This is the declaration part and this is the defining part or the assignment part where the value 25 was assigned to what was on the left hand side, which was age. Let us run our code. So the value of 25 is printed on the output as we printed the variable age. Now let us do some expressions. What we will do is we will do age is equals to age plus 5. Suppose we want to find out the age after 5 years, and we will print this again. I'll just copy paste this part. Now what happened was the first time my variable was storing 25 and I printed that out. Now what I did, I basically added this statement in which see the right hand side, which is age plus 5. So it will first evaluate the right hand side, and the value of age is 25. 25 plus 5 is 30. So the value of this expression is 30, and 30 will now be assigned to age. So let us run and see if we are correct. So see, earlier it was printing 25, now it is printing 30. And similarly, you can have double. Let us name a variable, say height is equals to 5.2, and we'll print basically we'll print the variable height. See here, the type of the variable is double. That means it can store real values, and we'll run the program. So now it is printing 5.2, which is the value of the variable of the type double. The variable name is height. So this is how you create variables, and this is how you assign expressions to variables. Just understand this, that this is not the equal to operator, it is the assignment operator. Whatever is there in the right will be assigned to left. And if you want to try and have a look at some examples, just go to programmer.com and start solving the challenges and start coding right there in your browser. Let us quickly summarize what you have learned so far. Basically, variables are used to store values of a type, and consider variables as a box, and there will be a type associated to the box and it will have a value. Then variable names must begin with a letter. So there are naming convention associated with variables name. They must begin with a letter or an underscore, and then can have any number of letters, numbers, or underscore. Then we learned that before using your variable you have to declare it, and in the end we saw that you can basically assign the value of an expression to the variable using the assignment operator, and this is the basically syntax of the same, that you assign whatever is there on the right hand side, which is the expression, and assign the value of the same to the variable. I would request you to go to programmer.com and practice such examples.